Hey everybody, Dustin DePirek, Ryan Karchi here. We are in the Assembly Hall media room because there was a lot of vacuuming going on in Assembly Hall itself. So we're here and we're probably going to annoy a bunch of people, including the ginger who just walked in by filming Scoop Talk here, and also JD Campbell who's here. Anyway, Indiana rolls again, fifth straight win by 20 points or more, 73-49. Wasn't the prettiest effort, but they got through it.
Not at all.
But still, defensively, I mean, offensively, they moved the ball well. They just couldn't really shoot it particularly well. They still managed to shoot 49.2% tonight just by moving the ball, just by getting easy baskets, scoring in transition, getting the ball in the paint. 40 points in the paint tonight, 3 for 18 from three, but just defended really well. Held Gardner Webb to 36.7%. It would have been lower than that, except it got a little bit out of hand. I think Gardner Webb was still under 30 points at the 8-minute mark.
It's pretty bad
in the second half. So
Will Sheehy had doubled up
Yeah.
in 48 seconds what Gardner Webb had done the entire
second half to that
at the
point.
time.
He had 10 points in a minute and 48.
Yeah.
So lots of just roll through this pretty quick. Lots of kind of impressive performance tonight. Victor Oladipo was pretty special on defense. 14, 5, and 5 points, assists, rebounds.
17 deflections, which is the highest all year of anyone.
I think so. That's what he said. It was one of it did reach the point where they just he was kind of full court pressuring the ball handlers, and at one point just caused Gardner Webb just throw the ball out of bounds, just on inbound. He was all over his guy, and they had no way to get it into him. Tried to lob it up a little bit and missed. Threw it into the stands on the other side. And he was really attacking. He was really aggressive. You're seeing sort of the evolution of Oladipo as going from just a guy who's an energetic defender to a really good defender, a guy that you can really rely on to attack the ball handler, attack the guy who's going to be the leading scorer on the other end. Last year, you didn't see the discipline at this level. I mean, he did gamble a lot. He did find himself out of position a couple times. He was really active and aggressive, but that got him into trouble. This year, you're seeing that less. This year, you're seeing him kind of develop into that guy that you can really say, okay, you go on him, you lock him up, and that's what you're starting to see.
I guess the only question that we have left with Victor as far as his defense goes is, can he lock down high-quality offensive players? I know we've seen the stars of the teams they played so far be locked down.
Right.
Cole Ryan, probably the best player he's locked down thus far, but is he going to?
You haven't seen a great guard.
Is he going to lock down the Duran Lambs, or just thinking in the next few weeks, or is he going to lock down the Jordan Taylors? That
is the big question. It's guys like that in the distance that you have to kind of wonder, okay, is he going to be able to get on those guys? And he's going to at least have a shot.
He's got the potential. For sure.
He's got the potential. I mean, you don't know. I mean, like there's even going to be guys that are really good defenders that are going to get burned by some of those guys. And they could be legitimately top level defenders. But I mean, he seems like he at least has it in him. You can at least trust him to be in that position. Where last year, I mean, there was a reason why Jeremiah Rivers played so many minutes. Rivers was the best option, defensively, and he just had sort of the discipline that was kind of different from Oladipo. And I think offensively, you would rather have what Oladipo had, even though he wasn't an extremely developed. He was offensive player at the time. He was still more offensively developed than Rivers was, but Rivers was a guy that you could rely on and say, okay, I'm just going to put you on him, and you're going to lock him up. Vic, there's a possibility he's going to reach too much, he's going to gamble too much, he's going to get beat. You're not seeing that as much from Oladipo. He's still getting his hands on balls, getting deflections, causing havoc, but he's not overdoing it to the point that he's putting himself in a bad position.
And you said something interesting there. I think just trusting Vic, and I think that goes even beyond Vic. I think this team has trust, and Crean talked about it a little bit. This team has trust in each other's abilities. I mean, they trust that Jordy's going to knock down threes. They trust that Cody is going to make moves in the post. They trust that Vic's going to be their lockdown defender.
Right.
And I think you can see that trust turn into confidence.
Yeah.
And that confidence turn into...
It's a cyclical thing. And the biggest part of it is, I mean, the guys are developing things that they just didn't have. I mean, it's not that they didn't trust them because they're not trusting guys, that they're not good, that there wasn't bonding or anything like that. I mean, literally, there were guys who were showing skills this year that simply were not there. Victor Oladipo did not have the handle he's got this year. I mean, he can really take the ball to the bucket, not just driving in a straight line.
He was
and slashing. Last year he was a slasher. This year he can legitimately cross.
His name, I thought it was funny against Gardner Webb. His name was chanted, and then he showed off a little bit of his handles on the other side. You could tell he was kind of doing it for the crowd a little bit.
He had a ridiculous spin move tonight, and that's something you did not see at all a year ago, you did not see that at all. He just had a freakish.
That was a
spinning in the
top-flight
lane.
NCAA spin move. I mean,
Yeah.
that's some of the best.
Mhm.
Some of the best in the game aren't
Gonna
gonna
pull
do
that
that.
off.
Yeah.
No, I mean he has that level handle right now. He still didn't have the shot. I mean that's the thing he worked on a lot this summer. That we talked about a lot this summer. Hitting kind of that elbow
Mhm.
jumper and the three. You haven't seen that really this year.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like it's actually kind of regressed, but everything else he's gotten a lot better at.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Osterman's off camera. He's ridiculous.
He's
Anyway,
dancing.
but
He's dancing. It's ugly.
yeah, it's rough. So, but there was a lot of that. I mean, they only shot 3 for 18 from 3 tonight. Still managed to make things happen. Played just a really good defensive performance all around. Starting with Vic, it was another night where they could get the ball into Cody and make things happen outside. They had good ball movement, even though they were just missing shots that were there really.
Jordy had a tough game.
Jordy had a tough game.
He, what did he shoot? He shot
0 for 3 from 3.
He was 0 for
1
3
from the field.
He was 1 for 4. He just really didn't have his rhythm, and I think. I mean,
It
we're
reached
going
the
to
point
see
where he
that.
didn't have to. I mean,
we're going to see that
yeah.
this year. I mean, he's gonna be out of rhythm some games, and he kind of. Once he noticed he's out of rhythm, he kind of took himself out of the game. And
Yeah, not so much took himself out of him. He's just going to move the ball. Like,
he's going to move the ball. Put it there.
The thing about it is there was so much talk about him hunting his own shot, him making sure he gets his own shot either with the dribble or just making sure he takes the three when it was there.
Mm-hmm.
And but that was at a time where they didn't have all these options. Where basically it was still Jordy Holmes with a slightly contested three is still your best offensive option rather than moving the ball to some of the other guys at the time with the skill levels they had. I mean, if Vic didn't have a clear lane, he couldn't do anything. And and then some of your other options were Tom Pritchard, Jeremiah Rivers, who did their work on defense and got a lot of things done. But you really getting the ball wasn't a better option than Jordan Holmes with the contested three. Now, moving the ball, Jordy realizes that moving the ball is a better option. It's not just that he doesn't have the confidence or that he's just overly fundamental. Like, literally, logically looking at it, if he doesn't have it that night, moving the ball is a better idea because there's other guys that are going to. And so it's kind of been different from what he was expected to do. He was kind of expected to be more aggressive this year, getting his own shot. He realized he doesn't have to be. It's still a better idea for him to just keep moving the ball, keep getting the ball going around the perimeter, just move the basketball.
He didn't force anything.
No, he never does.
And that's something we haven't really seen from anyone. I mean,
there's not a lot
maybe
of
Christian a few times, maybe Verdell a few times, but
Verdell didn't at all tonight. He was 0 for 1.
Not.
He missed 1 3, and
Tom was Tom was very happy with the fact that
Verdell catches a lot.
The way he did.
Verdell catches a lot of criticism because and sometimes he deserves it because he turns the ball over too much. But he's been a lot more solid. You're looking at a lot more of the sophomore year Verdell as opposed to the junior year Verdell when he had the ball too much, was trying to do too much with it. But anyway, this gets us past the points of the schedule where you kind of knew you were looking at 5-0.
The preseason is over.
The preseason as it is. Sunday is Butler. I still think it's going to be easier against Butler than a lot of people were expecting, but maybe not. And then after that, it's North Carolina State. Stetson's in there, but then you have Kentucky and Notre Dame, and these are the games you're really going to find out, just how good this team is.
It's crunch time. I mean, that's really it's kind of
the games that matter. It's the game where you're going to find out, and it's interesting. We really don't know yet. It seems like they're going to be better. It seems like they're going to be a lot better. But you're still waiting to see, okay. And they haven't played horrible competition. I mean, they've played worse opening season competition than they have. These are at least mid-majors.
7-13 is their opponent's record. So.
Yeah. So this is when you're going to start to find out. And what do you think, right? Where do you figure this team goes once it actually has to play some teams that are
I mean, looking
decent?
at the 4-game slate, the Butler, Notre Dame, Kentucky, and North Carolina State. I think the best thing they can hope for is 3-1 out of that. I don't think this is a team that's going to compete with Kentucky as far as beating them.
I think they'll compete.
I think they'll be there. I don't think they're talented enough to compete with that team for 40 minutes. Put it that way.
Right.
But NC State, Notre Dame,
I don't think they're going to get
Butler,
blown off the. I don't think they're going to get blown off
either.
the court. But
NC State, Butler, and Notre Dame, those are all games they can win.
Yeah.
Notre Dame lost tonight to Missouri.
Bad. Really bad.
Pretty bad. They, it was Abramitis' return, so he'll be back and he'll be ready to play once he plays Indiana. But NC State, C.J. Leslie, he just came back too, so those teams, by the time Indiana plays them, they're going to be some legitimate competition. But I think this team has it in them to be 3-1. I'm not saying they're going to be.
Yeah.
But I think they will be 2-2. or 3-1 when they get out of that stretch. And I think if they're 3-1, I mean, we're talking about a top 25 team. We're talking about
possibly.
a team that's in great position heading into Big Ten season. And I think that's better than anyone probably could have asked for.
Right. Maybe heading into the season, maybe when the games were scheduled. I mean, I think this team has shown more than maybe we were expecting. I mean, there was a lot there. You knew Cody was going to be good, but again, we've been saying this. My team might be better than we thought. So, but we'll see coming up real soon. Thanks guys.